I will share what happened and what started all of this for me. When our son was about 3, we went fishing, he and I, and just a little brook, just a little ways in off the road, but in a treed area. And then when we were sitting there, I looked up the pathway and I saw 5 or 6 boys coming down. Something happened that was so guttural, so instinctive. I thought, oh my God, there's a gang coming down, and how am I going to protect myself and my son from this gang of boys? The boys came down. They were in grade 5 and 6, the same age group that I was teaching at the time. So if anyone should have known better, it was me. And still, just because they were boys, because their bodies were bigger, there was something just instinctive that brought out deep fear. We had a wonderful time, and they were the sweetest of boys. And, I know that boys that age, their bodies are bigger, but inside they're just little boys, and there's a sweetness around them. So nothing happened. But that night, after I put my son to bed and was just kind of, thinking about the day, because something was not sitting well. And what was not sitting well was, where did that feeling come from? I had no need to be fearful. They did nothing that was threatening. Like, where did that come from? And then almost in the same moment, I thought, is that going to happen with someone else? When my son and his friends walk down a path, or they're crossing them on a street, are they going to be filled with fear simply because he's a boy? And I thought, something's really, really wrong with this. And that's what started it for me. And I started to read everything I could. The first book, one of the first books that I read, was Real Boys by Dr. William Pollock. And that's what taught me about the boy code and just the situation of the emotional world of boys. And at the end of that book, he said, if you've gotten anything out of this book, your job is to share it with other people who are connected with boys. And that's what started it. And so I started giving workshops at school, started reading anything I could, started sharing with all the parents that I had some connection with. And more importantly, it changed my view on working with young boys. I don't want anyone to have a negative experience that's going to give them this aha moment. But if you think about, why is it? Like, where does that come from? That fear that, okay. When we think of that boy being our son, there's something that just doesn't sit right. We know that that's not possible. But if someone else was in fear of your son simply because he's a boy, doesn't that warrant looking a little bit deeper into what possibly society is imposing on how we view males, and what can we do about it? And there's a lot we can do about it. So I hope you will be part of this, movement to help all of the little boys, the emotional world of little boys. There is a lot to learn, and our boys deserve it.